Well, the Syrian army is now in full control of the strategic Kastello road, which is the only supply line for the foreign-backed militants in Eastern Aleppo. Let's cross over to Damascus and get the details from our correspondent, Mohamad Ali. Mohamad?
Yes, the Syrian army and its allies have reached the Kastello building, which is just meters north of the Kastello road. After that, the army troops there reached the road itself, which is regarded as the only and main supply line for the terrorist groups who are positioned in the eastern parts of Aleppo. This road has been, of course, was being used by the terrorists over there in the eastern parts of Aleppo for getting reinforcements from the Aleppo countryside, and also all the way from Turkey, all the way also to areas in Idlib countryside. So definitely this is a very important road for those armed groups. Now it is fully cut after the Syrian army reached it and of course set up barriers on it. Also in parallel, after the Syrian army advances from the northern part of the road and reaching it, there are also army troops that are also advancing to that road from its southern side, from the al-Ramoun area. So the Syrian army is now in full control of that road. It is impossible for those terrorist groups to use it to get out or in from those eastern parts of Aleppo. Now, what that means, according to many experts, is that the terrorists in the eastern parts of Aleppo have few options now: either fight until killed or surrender their weapons, and eventually this would mean securing the entire city of Aleppo. Now, in parallel, also the Syrian General Command of the Syrian Army and Armed Forces issued a statement calling on the Syrian armed men in the eastern parts of Aleppo to surrender and join reconciliation deals that are happening across the country. Also, the General Command of the Syrian Army said that it had sent letters to the individuals, whether the armed groups or the civilians in the eastern parts of Aleppo, calling on them actually to also surrender and notifying them about the safe routes that they can use to exit from the eastern parts of Aleppo that are controlled by the terrorists towards the government-held areas, and promised them with temporary shelter centers and all basic needs they could need actually for their daily lives. Temporary, of course, shelter centers. And this indicates that the Syrian army is now actually has all of those terrorist groups under full siege in the eastern parts of Aleppo.
All right, thank you very much. Press TV's Mohamad Ali joining us from the Syrian capital, Damascus.